I'm Stephen Lambert, and we're about to start the February meeting of the Association of Energy Engineers, the Huntsville Chapter, and I'd like to welcome all of you to our awards meeting today. And for those of you that are not terribly familiar with our organization, I'd like to run through a couple of slides to introduce you to our organization and to our local chapter. So what is the Association of Energy Engineers? The Association of Energy Engineers is your source for information for networking in the dynamic fields of energy engineering, energy management, renewable and alternative energy, power generation, energy services, sustainability, and then all related areas. AEE's membership base ranges to about 15,000 professionals in 84 countries. We are widely recognized as an energy certification program. We have 72 local chapters located throughout the U.S. and abroad that meet regularly. But specifically, the Huntsville's AEE branch of the branch of Association of Energy Engineers, our mission specifically is to promote awareness of energy conservation and energy management within Alabama, serve as a mechanism for professional development and recognition in the dynamic field of energy management, provide a networking environment for energy professionals, and very importantly, introduce student engineers to the energy field. We want to make sure that our next generation understands how important energy is to our future economy. A little bit of history about our local chapter. We were chartered in 2010, so we're still a new organization. So we're hoping that a lot of you will become more and more familiar with us as time goes on. So far, we have already hosted the CEM exam, which is the Certified Energy Management exam. We've done that twice, and we expect to also host that again this year in 2013, so stay tuned for that announcement. We have had 30 students pass this exam so far, and for our chapter membership, we are currently claiming over 228 registered energy professionals within the state of Alabama. We have just recently found out that there is another chapter about to open up in the state of Alabama, so they'll draw some of those professionals out of our chapter, so these numbers will need to be updated very shortly. But we have also been privileged that the Young Energy Manager of 2011 was one of our members, Mr. Robbie Jones, and the Energy Project of 2011 was also awarded to Steve Cotney. The future goals of our local chapter: we want to become the source of energy professionals for Huntsville and Alabama. We're strongly trying to develop a scholarship for those students that are wanting to enter into the energy field. So those of you that are in academia, keep that in mind and stay in touch with us. We'd like to encourage younger students to get involved with any energy-related field. And we also want to promote Huntsville nationally and internationally as the leader in energy technologies and certified energy professionals. We want to assist with any local energy projects, so those of you that are in the commercial industry, let us know. We would like to assist you on any projects in coordinating efforts to put certain energy professionals in touch with you to help assist you on those projects. We'd also like to assist local professionals in designing energy smart projects. And then again, we want to host another CE exam in 2013.
We're presenting some awards which we think for the association are probably the best awards because they're from our chapter. They're from our group and our professionals in our community. So we think that there's a lot behind these awards that go beyond the structure of the awards for the National AEE program. Through its awards program, Huntsville AEE recognizes achievers in the fields that we serve here in our community. Winners are formally saluted at special awards presentation ceremonies like today and receive distinctive plaques from the Association of Energy Engineers commemorating their achievements. Today we call our awards the Distinguished Service Awards we present through our chapter. Sure. Do that one. One of our awards is Career Energy Manager, and that'll be presented to an individual in our community of influence that has an expansive career implementing energy projects, overseeing energy change, and contributing to the education and professional development of energy peers. They've been a contributor for at least 15 years and earned a title of Career Energy Manager for their service recognized by all in their community of influence. The award today is going to go to NASA's Marshall Space Flight Center, Cedreck Davis, and I did have a couple of photos there that you didn't have on yours, Cedric, that show the centrifugal chilled water plant that we all hear so much about. And if any of you were with Energy Huntsville when we went on a tour recently, those are the solar panels that sit on the roof. Unfortunately, I didn't get the whole shot, but I got your shot. We're also presenting a Lifetime Energy Training Award today. The Lifetime Energy Training Award is presented to the individual in our community of influence that has an expansive career contributing to the education and professional development of their energy peers. They've been an energy trainer for at least 15 years and have earned a title of Lifetime Energy Training for their service recognized by all in their community of influence. And the best shot I could show of that, Kenneth, was the actual classroom environment, and I had a snapshot and I couldn't find it anywhere where you were doing this exact thing during one of our recent CEM trainings. You were standing over and helping them out with a problem. Not on the computer, but and then the last award that we will present today is Community Energy Leadership Award. The Community Energy Leadership Award is presented to the individual in our community of influence who has led our leaders and our local administrators toward energy conservation. They are leaders in our community and champion energy change for all the community. They're tireless pioneers that lead us to a better energy future rather than waiting for it to happen. And that's a key point. And what I show here, of course, is the picture that was in the paper when Energy Huntsville was started, which shows the transmission lines that suffered quite a bit of damage during the tornadoes of April 2011. But in June, the mayor announced and launched the energy initiative known as Energy Huntsville. And I believe we have the chairman from Energy Huntsville in attendance today, Jay Newkirk, sitting right there. Our first award today is for Career Energy Manager, and that goes to Cedreck Davis, who's the energy manager out at NASA Marshall Space and Flight Center. As we bring up the awardees, I would ask that you have some guests here that you point them out and introduce them, because I might overlook them, and I don't want to do that because we're honored to have them as well. But Cedric began his career at George C. Marshall Space Flight Center in 1989. That was just a few years ago, and has been the energy program manager since January 1995. If you Google Cedreck Davis, you will find only one person with that name. He's that unique. Cedric, by leading and implementing innovative facility operation and maintenance practice at the Marshall Space Flight Center, is increasing energy efficiency, conserving water, recycling waste, and reducing costs. Now, I didn't give any percentages there, Cedric, but I figured you might be able to do that in your talk. Some of his accomplishments have included the certification of Building 4600 as LEED Silver in 2006, which is a national showcase facility, which is also a federal energy showcase facility. Well, I just said that. He implemented the trifold audit process, which has led to countless capital savings decisions and buildings being reconstructed to meet LEED EBOM standards. Less efficient chillers have been replaced, and a central chiller water plant constructed in 1999, which resulted in the consolidation of over 42 less efficient chillers being replaced by 9 much more efficient chillers. In 2005, he led a no-cost Delta T energy savings project, which resulted in over $88,000 energy bill reduction per year. Just to show people that there's always low-cost, low-hanging fruit to be taken advantage of. For this and all Cedreck's Energy Management Services, the local chapter here in Huntsville for the Association of Energy Engineers would like to present you and recognize your contributions to your profession as energy manager.
But I am humbled to be considered and to actually receive this award. I am also humbled to be in the company of the two great men that I've been blessed to be in the company with, and that is Mayor Battle and, of course, Thomas Spain. And I want to say congratulations to the two of you, and I'm just thankful to be a part. I've only known Mayor Battle closely for 2 or 3 years, but he has always focused on energy, and I appreciate that about him. Now, I've known Kenny for a long time. I knew him when he was a kid, and so we've known each other for a long time, but it's been good, and as a matter of fact, I received one of these in 1999, and it was because of Kenny that I received something from the AEE. And by the way, I've been a member of the AEE about 15 or 18 years. I don't know how long, but a long time. So, but it's been good. I would like to say thank you to my lovely wife. I can get away with prettiest woman in the room, but she's definitely the best looking one at my table over here. This is my wife, Betty, and thank her for being here with me. And back in the back, my right hand, and if you want to call it office wife, run her through it. Raise your hand, please. This is my energy engineer, and she's the reason that we get a lot done, and I'm so thankful to her, and she will probably text me and tell me what I'm supposed to do right up here, and so between the two of them, I'll probably get it right. Right beside her, Jimmy Garrett, hold your hand up. This is my manager and my energy champion that I call him at Marshall, and we've had rounds now for 12 or 14 years, and we've accomplished a lot, and I think I may have had a lot to do with energy, but he had a lot with, since he manages the engineering part, with helping us cross the energy into the engineering part, and I think this is why we built a great building because of that. Also in the back is Robert Washington, and he's just a friend of mine back there. He's an electrician that I deal with, and man, do I give him a fit, but he's a great guy, and we're just so thankful to have him on board and to have him here today. And I'm sure there are other people here, but thank you to Steve for coming. Now, this is a surprise. Every now and then he surprises me, so I'm thankful that Steve Sain is here, and we have worked together now for the past 15 or so years, so that's been good.
Our next award is for lifetime training, and the person receiving this award is T. Kenneth Spain, currently with the University of Alabama here in Huntsville Earth Science Center, National Space Science Technology Center. And as you heard in Cedreck's, Kenny has been around Marshall Spaceflight Center and other locations here in our community, and has trained just about half of the energy managers that are in the room. Either he or Steve teaming up. Kenny is an internationally recognized energy engineer, manager, and trainer, and as of February 2013 has taught 351 energy seminars with a combined attendance of over 9,100 students. Now that's impressive. I won't go through everything in here, but Mr. Spain has also distinguished himself in public energy management arena, first in K-12 schools and Alabama government agencies through the sponsorship of Alabama Department of Economic and Community Affairs, ADECA, and then for the diversity of federal agencies. He is a Federal Energy Management Program, FEMP, Qualified Life Cycle Cost Instructor, and Energy Code Trainer, and served as the lead instructor for the U.S. Army Prospect course on energy management and existing federal facilities, which trained over 600 Department of Defense energy managers throughout the world in compliance with the EPACT of 1992. So suffice it to say, Kenny's been around since energy was not cool. Through Association of Energy Engineers and other seminar sponsors, Kenny has provided training to every branch of the U.S. military, as well as most civilian agencies in the United States government. Mr. Spain was AEE's International Energy Engineer of the Year in 1995, was inducted to AEE Energy Managers Hall of Fame in 2002. He's also the past president of North Alabama Chapter of American Society, ASHRAE, and past president of Alabama Chapter of Association of Energy Engineers, and serves on the Certified Lighting Energy Professional Board for the AEE. He is a past member of ASHRAE, ICNA, I can't even say all these things, Kenny. The project committee responsible for producing the ASHRAE Standard 91.199, which is the energy standard for buildings except for low-rise residential buildings. And that's quite impressive. Mr. Spain remains on-call research scientist on the Earth System Science Center of UAH following retirement after 25 years of full-time service. Do we ever retire? In addition to continuing his AEE energy training programs, Kenny serves as the operation administrator for the Whitesburg Baptist Church, provides a real-world laboratory of new construction, major renovation, and operational challenges to help temper theoretical engineering principles with practical operational issues. In that role, he has been involved with over $20 million of new construction and improvements, and administers operation for 3 Huntsville campuses with 350,000 square feet of facilities. And for that, Kenny Spain, Huntsville Association of Engineers, would like to present you with the Lifetime Training Award.
Thank you very much. Now, I'm also very humbled to be on the program sandwiched between Cedreck Davis and Mayor Tommy Battle. That's very difficult, because Cedreck is fun to be around, as you can tell, and I've really enjoyed that, and visiting with his wife Betty. But I appreciate Cedreck, not just because he's fun to be around, because he's accomplished a lot, but also because he's a man of faith, a man of God, and I appreciate that about him. And I appreciate Mayor Tommy Battle for being willing to be in public service. I know public servants get a lot of criticism. They don't get as much praise and thanks, and so we appreciate your leadership and the work that you do for us. I should acknowledge several people who are in the room. My son Andrew is here with me, and one of my often teaching partners, one of the little people, I should say, right? No, it's Steve Sain. proud to have Steve here. Now, Bob Quick and Vanessa Ennis are in the room, and Bob and Vanessa worked with me at UAH and covered for me while I was running around the country teaching seminars a lot of times, and I appreciate that. And although he's not here, John Fetters is also a frequent teaching partner, and I appreciate his. And there's many other people in the room that I owe a debt of gratitude to as well. Now, I just wanted to make a few brief comments here, and I'm gonna back up to this slide and let it sit there for a moment, because I really have more in here than I have time to talk about, and that's always true. But I wanted to make a few comments about how and why I got into professional development and energy training. Now, in 1977, when the Association of Energy Engineers began, I was graduating high school from Grissom High School locally. Okay, and I ended up going to UAH. We had just experienced an energy crisis in the early 70s, sort of a national wake-up call on energy issues, and a lot was happening in the energy world. And so the Association of Energy Engineers responded, celebrated their 35th anniversary this past year, and has a good legacy of responding to the needs and the change. But I got an engineering degree at UAH, and I'm very proud of that. I got a good education, I think. But I remember the profound disappointment that I had after I graduated, because prior to going to college, I expected that when I graduated from college, I naively expected that I would know everything that I needed to know to confidently do the work that I would be doing when I left school, and I felt unprepared. but I was working in the energy arena. I'd had good fundamental education, but I began to seek out the professional development opportunities that I could find. I sought out any books that we didn't have the internet. Then sought out any publications, any mentors that I could learn from. And so I went to a few professional development courses. And I had a great interest in professional development because even in engineering, we don't get taught a lot about energy management. Okay, there's not room in the curriculum to have a lot of specialty courses on that. And we have the traditional disciplines, mechanical, electrical, industrial and systems engineering, chemical, and so forth. Now, do we have any electrical engineers in the room? Okay, we've got several. How many of you with electrical engineering degree had an illumination engineering course in college in your first 4 years? Okay, there's just one. Okay, but yet we hire electrical engineers to design our buildings, electrical systems, and to design the lighting systems. So they have to get that education through opportunities through professional development. So engineers begin a lifetime of learning, and that's something that has been true for me. But I didn't start out teaching seminars, but one of the reasons I got into teaching seminars was because I saw where there was some need for training, and there was one thing at a time, needs would come up, issues would come up. One of the first programs that we did for the state resulted from a very simple issue, that of lack of understanding of how utility taxes and energy taxes affected large organizations like K through 12 school systems and governmental agencies. And the fact that they were overpaying a tax that ultimately came back to help fund them, but there were consultants from out of state coming in, getting contingency contracts, siphoning hundreds of thousands of dollars out of the Special Education Trust Fund over very simple issues, lack of understanding of basic energy accounting and how to deal with that. So we put together a series of courses to help educate governmental energy managers and school energy managers on how to understand energy accounting. And then also how to, instead of paying that money to out-of-state consultants for very limited work done, hire consultants when you need them. I've made my living as a consultant under the auspices of the university, but hire them when you need them, but make sure you're getting what you pay for, and then the money that you save, put it back into the organization to save more, to help them understand basic energy technology. So many of the programs just arose out of a basic need. But then the programs for federal agencies, we have a center on the University of Alabama in Huntsville, the Bevel Center, that provides proponent-sponsored training for the U.S. Army. So they have a course on energy. One thing led to another, but the Energy Policy Act of '92 gave increased focus to the need for energy managers, trained energy managers in federal agencies. So the training needs in the federal world began to mushroom. And so my partnership with Steve Sain has allowed us to first participate in that training program in the 1990s, and since 1998 to do over 100 of the Certified Energy Manager preparation courses for the Association of Energy Engineers. So it's just one thing after another, one need after another, responding to the need of the day. Now we all saw, or many of us saw, the Lombardi Trophy awarded Sunday night to the NFL champion Baltimore Ravens, okay? Now, Guy Lombardi was a legendary football coach, but one of the many quotes that is said about him is he said that football is about blocking and tackling. The team that blocks and tackles the best will win. Well, energy management is about fundamentals. It's not rocket science, as Cedreck said. It's basic fundamentals, but doing those fundamentals very well. Just a couple of things to give attribution to the Association of Energy Engineers, who has been one of my principal seminar sponsors. AEE was the first organization to pioneer energy certification programs starting 34 years ago. There are over 10,000 certified energy managers. I actually think it's above 11,000 now, but over 22,000 certified professionals in energy specialty areas. So they have a number of specialty areas, and they are nimble. They do respond to the current issues of the day, but the CEM program is their fundamental program, and it has achieved great recognition. AEE is an approved provider for continuing education. When I first got my PE, there was not a continuing education requirement, but now I'm required to document professional development hours each year to maintain that. So continuing education is a very important part of a number of certification programs, as mentioned here. Now, I won't go any further into the energy history except to note that there are many people in the room, in addition to the ones that I mentioned, who have been working in the energy profession here in Huntsville for a long time. Many programs that were spawned from things in the Energy Act of 1978, the Institutional Conservation Program that provided funds for energy audits and improvements in facilities throughout our state. Energy Policy Act of 92 impacting both products that we purchase, the design of new buildings with regard to energy codes and energy training requirements, among other things. And then more recently, legislation in the last 5 or 6 years affecting increased efficiency, increased savings requirements in the federal government, increased use of renewable energy, demand response programs for utility companies. There are many, many issues that we have to deal with. And in the executive order mentioned on the bottom, the issue of net zero energy buildings, it might overwhelm you to think about the requirement of every new building you build having to produce as much renewable energy on an annual basis as it uses. Okay, but that's the concept of a net zero energy building. Now that's a lofty goal, but there are buildings that are achieving that today, and there is a requirement in that executive order that federal agencies have in place a process such that new buildings entering design after 2020 achieve net zero energy by 2030. So we have a lot of challenges. The work is not done yet. We're just beginning. So what is our energy future? Well, I don't have the answers to all that, but we can provide the answers as energy professionals a day at a time, one fundamental issue at a time. Do we need new supplies? Yes, we do. Do we need to use renewable energy? Yes, we do. Do we need more nuclear? You know, I would say, yes, we do, okay? And, you know, there are a variety of things that we need to bring to the supply table. We're producing more natural gas than ever. We're producing more oil domestically than ever. But there are additional issues. What about increased demand? Is there going to be increased demand both here and worldwide? Yes, it is increasing greatly. We need demand response programs to level our loads. Net zero energy, I've mentioned that. So what is going to be our policy? What's going to be our technology and economic breakthrough response? We're the people who can help equip the current and next generation to meet those challenges. And I'm proud to be a part of AEE, and I thank you for the award.
Our next award is Community Energy Leadership, and I think everybody knows Mayor Tommy Battle. We will introduce him here in just a second. Mayor Battle was reelected in a close reelection here in August by a narrow margin of 81% of the vote. I think, you know, I can read this bio. I've worked with the mayor since I've come to Huntsville. One of the things that has enamored me with Huntsville is my relationship with Mayor Battle. He is the people's mayor. He's very concerned about the economic development in this community. And he doesn't just sit around and wait for it to come. He doesn't let somebody else do it. He gets out and leads the leaders. You know, he'll ask you, what do you think about this? Be careful how you answer. Any answer at all could get you a job. As Jay and Robin and quite a few other folks in the room know. When crippling snowstorms and violent tornadoes struck Huntsville, Mayor Battle was out on the front. He was working with the teams of emergency responders to handle the aftermath. And that wasn't good enough. That wasn't just where it stopped. He went from there to say, how do we make this better? How do we prepare for the next time? He said, we don't need to say if. We know it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. And rather than wait for it to happen again, Mayor Battle leads the community in getting that response together. Let me also mention the mayor is married to the former Eula Salmons, a retired kindergarten teacher in the county schools, and they have one son, Andrew. Not you. And recently at one of the events, Mayor Battle had told me that He needed to take care of his wife and recognize her, so I wanted to make sure, Mayor, that I recognized her today. It's with great pleasure, Mayor, that I ask you to accept this award from our chapter.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
This is, I'm honored to get an award, but this award is not for me. It's for a lot of people out here in this audience who have been doing portions of this work. I say quite often that a mayor ends up being a cheerleader. We root the troops on. We push them down the field. We congratulate them when great things happen, and we keep on pushing. But we're not out on the playing field because we're having to look at the next and the next and the next. And so you feel sometimes like a cheerleader. One of the most satisfying things I get to do is when I finally take a week off. I get 2 days at home and I can actually finish projects and I can see what I started and finished all in one day. And that's one of the most satisfying things you can do. But you know, looking out across this group, there are people in this group who have been part of either the Green 13 or the Energy Huntsville effort, or even started back when we did the Solid Waste Authority, and are part of Huntsville's energy past and energy's future. And if you look at it, we have a past and we have a future. 1988, I was on city council, and we voted for a $105 million bond issue so that we could take garbage, we could burn that garbage, turn it into steam, send that low-pressure steam out to Redstone Arsenal. Cedric, we'd send it out to you, and Redstone Arsenal would buy that steam from us and use it to produce energy. And that was one of the first things that we did in the energy world. And you know, as a city, that was one of our biggest investments. It was the biggest bond issue we'd ever done. And I remember before voting on that, I was 32 years old, and I was thinking, how are we ever going to pay back $105 million? Well, today that system is working well. It takes 10 tons of garbage, turns it into 3 tons of ash. It produces low-powered steam, and we're now looking at doing a $200 million retrofit on it, turn it into a high-pressure steam vessel, turning a generator, and then we can shave that peak shave, and we can save money doing that. The peak shave is where we can save enough money to make it pay for itself and do the zero energy. What do we get out of that? As a community, we have a source of energy sitting right here, and we use garbage and turn it into energy. And this garbage has no ash to it, so we get rid of our garbage. The second thing we get out of it is that we have a source of power right next to Redstone Arsenal. Redstone Arsenal is sustainable. And the third thing that we get out of it is that we end up saving the Arsenal money. Long term, we have fixed their energy cost. And by doing that, the next bracket that comes, we can say we have the most renewable. We also have the cheapest source of energy that you can find throughout this nation. And so we have a step up on everybody on that. Energy conservation makes dollars and cents. It really does. When you look at, Michelle and I rode out here today in our electric car. 110 miles per gallon is equivalent to the energy that is used for that. That electric car is a small little Ford Focus, but it's the greatest thing that you can drive around in because it will get you anywhere, and I don't have to stop in at the convenience stores, and I've forgotten how to swipe that card and put that gas in the car. But that is the key. When I first came into city government, we started talking about a sustainability plan, and we had what we called the Green 13, which quickly turned into the Green 29. And how many are out here for with Green 13? Ruchi, Dale, Robin. We had some of the early members of the Green 13, and we put together a sustainability plan for the city of Huntsville. And sustainability was how to use our resources well, but also how to conserve energy. We turned that into we jokingly said we wanted to turn that into the Green 200,000, and we joined in with the Gardens, who started doing Green U, And then we went to the next step, and Dale Jones comes to me, little curly-headed kid back there. Raise your hand back there, Dale. Dale Jones comes to me and says, why don't we start at Energy Huntsville? And we started at Energy Huntsville. And I got the original IPT group here. And I knew that I was with a group of engineers when they started talking about IPTs because they're really subcommittees. And here's the original organization of the Energy Huntsville, and it's got Dale Jones up there. And then Jay Newkirk came in and took over. And Jay, you've done a great job with it. But each of those guys will tell you that it wasn't them. It was a whole group of people who were in there who were working together. And the one thing that I told them we wanted out of this, I wanted everybody to get together, everybody to recognize what abilities everybody else has and how much we could do together as a community. We recognize 70 companies that are in the energy field here. Everything from nuclear power to coming down to Carina technology, which cuts off your hot water heater on a grid. We have so many uses here, and this community is a great community to be in. Energy is one of the fields that we will grow in on a constant basis over the next 10, 15, 20 years. It's not going away, so just hang in there. We've got a lot more to do. Thank you very much for the honor that you've given me, to both of y'all. Cedreck, Kenneth, thank you very much for letting me join you, because you're the ones on the front lines. Y'all have actually done something. I've talked a lot about it, but I've got a great crew out here who has been the ones who have been on the front lines, who have done that day in and day out, and they're the ones that are so special to this community, so thank you.
And again, thanks to Cedreck, to Kenny, and to the mayor for all the work you've done for us. We greatly appreciate it. Please encourage us to move forward in the future, and join us again March 5th. Thanks everyone for coming.